If banks freeze withdrawals for 48 hours, what happens next? Imagine waking up tomorrow, you check your bank account. The balance is still there. The numbers look normal. But when you tap withdraw, a message appears. Cash withdrawals temporarily paused. No explanation, no countdown, just not available. And suddenly, the most unsettling realization hits. Your money didn't disappear, but it also isn't yours anymore. Not today. Not for the next 48 hours. 2 days. But in a modern economy, 48 hours is enough to break something permanent. Because banks don't fail when they run out of money. They fail when people lose trust. And once withdrawals freeze, the real crisis isn't financial. It's psychological. Today, we're breaking down what happens if banks lock the doors for just 48 hours. What breaks first is not the bank. It's society's confidence in the system. This is not a prediction. This is scenario analysis, an educational breakdown of systemic risk. To understand why this matters, we need to understand what banks really are. Most people imagine their money sitting safely in a vault, a stack of cash with their name on it. But modern banking does not work like that. Banks operate on something called fractional reserves. That means when you deposit money, the bank does not keep all of it in cash. It lends most of it out. Mortgages, business loans, government bonds. The system is built on circulation, not storage. And it works only as long as not everyone asks for their money at the same time. Banks are stable until confidence disappears. That is why withdrawals matter. The moment people believe access is uncertain, a bank run begins. And bank runs are not logical. They are psychological. Because when trust breaks, speed matters more than facts. Now imagine a simple scenario. A bank announces, withdrawals paused for 48 hours. Maybe it's a technical issue. Maybe it's a liquidity event. Maybe it's an emergency measure. The reason almost doesn't matter, because the effect is immediate. The first domino is trust shock. The moment withdrawals pause, people stop asking, "Is my bank okay?" and start asking, "Can I get out first?" Banking becomes a race, not a service. Even a temporary pause becomes a signal. Something is wrong, and trust is fragile. Because money is not just numbers, money is access. The second domino is crowd reaction. Most financial crises are not caused by math, they are caused by behavior. One person panics, then another, then millions. ATMs become crowded, branches fill, phones refresh endlessly, social media amplifies fear. Even people who were calm become nervous because everyone else is. This is how runs begin, not with insolvency, with uncertainty. The freeze is meant to stop panic, but it confirms panic. The third domino is liquidity reality. Banks do not have every deposit instantly available. They cannot. If everyone demanded cash tomorrow, no banking system on earth could meet it. So withdrawal limits exist, freezes exist, emergency measures exist. But here is the paradox. The moment you restrict access, you remind people that access is conditional. And once people learn that, they never forget it. A 48-hour pause does not just delay withdrawals, it permanently damages confidence. Now comes the fourth domino, payments. In the modern world, cash is not optional. People need banking access for daily life, groceries, fuel, rent, medical needs, wages, supplier payments, bills. If withdrawals freeze, economic life slows immediately. Not because money vanished, but because access did. And when access disappears, people behave differently. They hoard, they rush. They stop trusting digital promises. The economy becomes defensive. At this point, the crisis becomes psychological, because banking is not built on cash. It is built on belief. The belief that when you need your money, it will be there. And if that belief breaks, everything changes. Now zoom out. A withdrawal freeze does not stay inside one bank, it spreads. The next domino is contagion. If one bank pauses withdrawals, people ask, "What about my bank?" Is it next? So even healthy institutions face pressure. Withdrawals accelerate elsewhere. Banks tighten lending. Liquidity disappears. A localized event becomes systemic. Because the banking system is interconnected, banks lend to each other daily. They rely on trust between institutions. When one freezes, others become suspicious. Interbank lending tightens. The financial oxygen shrinks and stress multiplies. Now the impact reaches businesses. Small businesses rely on constant cash flow, payroll, suppliers, invoices, rent. A 48-hour freeze can mean employees cannot be paid, suppliers cannot be settled, operations stall, small companies break first. Then supply chains tighten, then layoffs begin. Not because demand collapsed, but because liquidity froze. This is how financial stress becomes economic stress. Then comes the household layer. Imagine millions of people unable to withdraw, even temporarily. What happens? They rush for alternatives. Cash becomes scarce. Stores see shortages. Prices spike temporarily. People hoard essentials. Trust in normal life declines. And once society feels instability, the response becomes emotional. A banking freeze is not just financial, it is social. Now governments enter the story, because governments cannot allow confidence to collapse, so they face brutal choices. Guarantee deposits, inject emergency liquidity, impose temporary controls. Or risk panic spreading uncontrollably. Even rumors force intervention, because modern systems are built on perception. Governments understand this. That is why crises often trigger massive responses before the public even understands what happened. But intervention has consequences. If central banks flood the system with liquidity, inflation risk rises. If governments impose controls, trust declines. If they do nothing, runs accelerate. There is no painless option. A withdrawal freeze forces the system to reveal its limits. Now consider the currency layer. If withdrawals freeze widely, people lose trust not only in banks but in the currency system itself. Because money becomes theoretical, numbers on a screen, not accessible reality, and economies cannot function on theory. Confidence is the true currency. When confidence weakens, the entire structure becomes fragile. So what would the warning signals look like? Not headlines, signals. Rising ATM demand, banks quietly lowering withdrawal limits. Emergency central bank lending facilities expanding, sudden technical outages. Deposit guarantee announcements, rapid spread of banking rumors. Most crises begin quietly before they become visible. The freeze is never the first domino. It is a late-stage signal. Now, it is important to be clear. This is not saying banks will freeze tomorrow. This is not a prediction. This is scenario analysis, an educational breakdown of systemic psychology, because the banking system is not just finance. It is trust infrastructure, and trust can vanish faster than money. A 48-hour freeze may sound temporary, but psychologically, it is permanent damage. Because once people question access, the system changes. Banking becomes conditional in their minds, and conditional trust is weaker than automatic trust. That is why bank runs are so dangerous. Not because banks are always insolvent, but because confidence is unstable. The modern economy is built on smooth flow. Money moving, payments clearing, liquidity circulating. A freeze interrupts that flow. And once flow stops, the dominoes fall quickly. Trust shock, crowd reaction, liquidity tightening, business stress, contagion, government intervention, currency confidence strain, all from a pause measured in hours. Understanding these mechanisms is the first step toward resilience in an era of financial system stress. This content is educational only, not financial advice, not investment guidance, just a breakdown of how systems behave under pressure, because financial crises do not begin with collapse, they begin with trust fractures. And sometimes, all it takes is 48 hours. In the next episode, we go even deeper, because once withdrawals freeze, the next domino is control. What happens if governments respond with full capital controls? Limits not for 2 days, but indefinitely. That is next episode. And we break it down next.